Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt. Over there is Adam Glyn. We got a great episode for you coming up today. We're going to be talking to Debbie Matenopoulos. You know her from The View. She's done E! She back in the day, she started on MTV. She's kind of done it all. You see her for Hallmark movies. We're going to ask her all about what it was like working for The View, how she got the gig, what it was like behind the scenes, how much she got paid, what Barbara Walters was like that we don't know, things that happen, who's the most famous person she's got in her phone. We're going to get into it all with her because she has had such a fascinating career and upbringing in Hollywood. So very excited to get her on. Adam, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well. You see this shirt? You like this? I've got a wild shirt on a little bit.
Got 70s porn vibes to it, but all good.
Dude, so I was walking by the store in Soho. It's a brand that I like. The store was closing, so they're just dumping everything in the store. They're just trying to get rid of it. So everything was 70% off. This shirt was like over $100, and like I just wound up getting. I got it for like $30 or 20 something. 20. I couldn't say no. I was like
over $100 for that shirt. Like, not to be rude, but like, who's gonna pay $100 for that shirt?
You'd be surprised, dude. It's yeah, I know it looks, but I'm really excited for it. How you doing? All right.
I'm doing good. I can't complain. It's been just so busy lately. My God, it's like even us trying to find time to record has been out of control.
I don't think people realize it's difficult. It sounds like a small thing between us, but it is very difficult because I'm 3 hours ahead of you. So my prime time is too early, but then when you want to get going, it's kind of like in the middle of the day for me. It's not easy.
Evenings, like I've got my kids that I'm trying to put to bed, or
yeah. So you want to do it like,
and you're like, let's do this.
Midnight.
And I'm like, I can't.
It's tough. It's weird, but we make it work. We've been doing it for how long now? So we got it going.
So many years. Yeah. So many years. But hey, we're going to have to jump into this because I know we've got limited time with Debbie. So let's jump into this because I want to make sure that we can get this whole interview in. We'll save the review for next time. Plus, she says she has got something that she wants to give away to one of our listeners, maybe even two of our listeners. And so I'd like to make sure that we have time for that because everyone likes free shit, right? Everyone. So let's get her on. We got Debbie Matenopoulos. You guys know her. She's a talk show host, a journalist. She is one of the faces that was inside of your home for so many years. Someone that I haven't got to meet personally until this interview. So very excited to have this chit chat, but let's bring her on. Debbie, how are you? Thank you so much for coming on. Very excited to have you on. I feel like I have known you yet not known you for a very long time because, you know, there's these people that are floating around Hollywood that like you see their face because they have been in the same realm as you. We've done a lot of entertainment news over the years. We've covered a lot of the same topics. And it's fun to actually meet you in person. So thank you for coming on Hollywood Raw.
Thank you for having me, fellas. And I feel like I know you too, Dax. I mean, I've watched you forever on TMZ. I was just saying, like, that was the heyday of TMZ when you guys were the stories as much as the story was the story, you know?
Debbie, you know, November is the 20th anniversary of TMZ. Isn't that crazy?
What?
Yeah.
That's insane. We can't be that old. I don't accept it.
I don't accept it to think that back then, you know, I'd walk around first days on the job and be like, hey, I'm trying to do an interview. And they're like, what outlet are you with? I'm like, TMZ. They're like, no fucking clue who that is. Yeah, all right. And I'd have to drop like the AOL and Warner Brothers. It's a collaboration between the two of them. They've started up this website. And now TMZ is just so synonymous with, you know, breaking news or the dirty news or whatever you want to associate TMZ with. It is in pop culture. So just kind of funny to see how far it has come in the last 20 years. But you as well have done so much from The View. I remember you were on Insider. You were on so many shows. When you look back, what is the one show that everyone recognizes you from? Because you've done Hallmark shows, you've done it all.
Oh yeah. Still, I mean, you guys, it's like I'm Linda Blair from The Exorcist. You know, they only remember Linda Blair from The Exorcist. I literally still to this day, it will be, I think, I was on The View 21, 22. So we're going back 26 years.
No way.
Or 26, 27 years, yeah. And still to this day, still people go, oh my gosh, I loved you on The View. which, by the way, I am so flattered and so honored. And what an opportunity to have been on that show at 21, 22 years old. I mean, by the time I was 24, it was all over with. But it was literally an amazing experience. And still people stop me and say, I loved you on The View. You got a raw deal. I was like, I was a kid. I didn't know what I was saying. And probably didn't have much business being there. But at the same time, so The View is the number one, especially in airports. Randomly in airports, people will stop me. Even if they don't recognize me, as soon as I speak, they'll go, because they recognize my voice. And they'll go, are you Debbie? I'm like, yes. Now, the other thing that I'm always recognized for still is Hallmark Channel. Yep. Because the fans of Hallmark Channel are second to none. I mean, these guys are diehard fans, and they absolutely loved Home and Family, which was one of my favorite jobs ever in history too. So it's either Hallmark or The View, which couldn't be more polar opposites, by the way. I mean, the audience usually isn't the same.
So Debbie, when you got The View, essentially you were, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were discovered by Barbara Walters. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. I was.
So she's, where did you see her, and what do you think she saw in you?
Well, I was just a kid going to NYU and working at MTV at that time. So I was a PA at MTV, a production assistant, or maybe at that time I'd become an associate producer. I might have moved up at that point. But I went to a friend of mine's party uptown. He wanted to be a weatherman, and he couldn't break into the New York market. So he got a job like in Idaho or something. So I went uptown to his going away party, and there happened to be this guy who was a casting director for Bar Wall Productions. And they were creating this brand new show called The View from Here. So I wasn't up there auditioning or doing anything, just being there for my friend. And this guy says to me, hey, would you come in tomorrow and audition for Barbara Walters? I'm working at MTV, going to NYU. I'm like, I don't think Barbara Walters, for what? I don't quite understand this new show, yada, yada. I say, okay. I don't think anything of it. The next day, go to school, go to NYU in the morning, and then I take the subway up to work at MTV, because I'd go to school in the morning and then go to MTV and then go to night school to finish college. So I get there, and my roommate, who also works at MTV, was there, and she's like, they have called from ABC and you got to go uptown. I was like, wait, what? Because you told that guy you're going. You guys, I was wearing a mini skirt, like a mini skirt, boots to my knees, and a baby tee that said Cotter on it. And like, welcome back, Cotter.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe it said Barbarino. I don't know. I had it could have been John Travolta. I had a whole slew of these t-shirts that I bought in the East Village. It was a half tee. Okay. So I go, I'm like, whatever. My roommate gets me a Communicar, like hires the company car and says, just take her up there. I go up there and thinking, I can't believe I'm walking into ABC's building looking like this. They think I'm like a singing telegram. I get in there and I meet Bill, Geddie, and Barbara Walters looking like that.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to have a cocktail story forever. I'll be able to leave here and tell my friends, you'll never believe what I did today. I did not imagine in a million years they would have hired this young kid that was working at MTV and going to NYU. I just would have never imagined that. But also, having said that,
I back and go, maybe that was the best decision I could have ever made, is not knowing, not having the importance level on who it was and what I was wearing, because you were just you.
Dax, and this is why they pay you the big bucks. This is exactly right. What could I lose? I had nothing to lose. You know what I mean? I just went in there being myself and just had absolutely no like preconceived notions of what's going to happen, whatever. I just went in there, sat down. I'm like, yeah, well, hi, I'm Debbie. I go to NYU. I work at MTV.
And this is my belly button. Say hi to Debbie's belly button, everyone.
It's like I couldn't fail, you know? It's not like they were giving me a test. They were just talking to me about me. And they asked me, I remember the Howard Stern movie had just come out. So they asked me about the Howard Stern movie. They asked me about MTV, like what I like to do. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that was the whole idea behind The View. And I think that's what Barbara liked so much, because I was completely unfiltered. I wasn't trying to be somebody I wasn't. And I think that was the appeal. And it was also probably my demise in the end. But, you know, she she liked the fact that I was just me. I was just me and honest. And she used to say to me, one of the reasons we hired you is because when I asked you who the 3 most important people in the 21st century were, you said to me, Bill Gates, Albert Einstein, and Madonna. And I thought, oh my God, this girl's going to make good television, because everybody screamed at me when I said Madonna. I was like, why? Madonna is, because in my brain, she was. I was 21 years old. You know what I mean?
So Debbie, when you get The View, especially at that age, do you sign the contract right away? Did you have a representative? Did you get a lawyer? How did you do your first deal?
Oh, Adam, it was wild. Okay, so I go in, I do this audition. They call me back, and it's at the Essex House, and all the executives are there, and they rented one of the big suites, and they're wiring the whole thing, and they're in the other room watching it live as we're being filmed, right? So the first group to sit down, legitimately, was me, Barbara, Starr, Joy, and Meredith, which was the original, the OGs of the show. That was it. So, and 750 people came through there in 2 days, and then other people sent tapes, et cetera, et cetera. And
you guys happened to be the magic combo that was all.
Well, we were the magic combo, and when we were, so I went to the audition. I walk in, and I'm now freaking out because I'm the only person in that room that nobody knows my name. You know what I mean? Everybody knows everyone except for me. I'm like, oh, this is enough. So I turn around to walk out, and as I'm walking out, Barbara is walking in the room. And she turns and guides me back into the room, her hands on my shoulder. She's like, oh, I'm so glad you came, baby. So anyway, she, talks to the whole room. We sit down, we do this audition, and I leave, not thinking anything, right? Go back to my apartment downtown, and I get a phone call from one of the producers, and he's like, hey, we're just going through, we're trying to decide, we need to know everybody's representatives. I did not have a representative. I had 0 of the people. I didn't even have a headshot. Okay. I was just some kid that rolled in that some casting director met. So this is a great lesson, by the way, to anyone out there who may want to do something in this business. Just go. Even if you don't want to go somewhere, just go. You have no idea what it could open up your life to, because I certainly didn't. I almost didn't go to that party uptown. I was tired. So anyway, Starr, who had befriended me, calls me, and she's like, well, you're gonna have to get somebody. You're gonna have to get somebody. So I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't even know who to call or whatever. My friends at MTV are like little elves running around. They're like, oh, I'll call so-and-so's manager. And I just said, they're helping me out. So Barbara's assistant called me and said, well, why don't you call over to William Morris? You might want to talk to someone over there. And that was kind of, when that happened, I was like, oh, I might be getting this job, because why is Barbara's people call, this is weird. This is all a little too so Barbara's assistant called and said, call over to William Morris. And who gave me their agent? Barbara. Barbara gave me her agent. So I had Barbara Walters' agent. Crazy. Jim Griffin, who was amazing. God rest his soul. What an amazing dude. And that was
pretty
really
good for your first agent, your first gig, the whole thing. My God. Talk about really hitting the jackpot.
But also, let's be real, Dax. She also gave this guy a hefty commission for doing no work. She got the gig.
No, I'm talking about in general. You got the dream gig just by showing up and being yourself, which is funny because I was listening to it thinking it's so similar to the way that my career started. And I'm listening to it like, oh my God, I didn't know who the hell Harvey Levin was. I had no idea. I was working at Extra as an intern, and someone said, go meet Harvey. He's starting something new. I walked in that door. I knew nothing about him. I didn't know about the People's Court. I didn't know about Celebrity Justice. I knew nothing. And I walked in and I said hi. And I think if I would have known, I would have talked myself out of it. I think I would have overthought the situation, and I would not have landed the gig that I ended up landing. And it's just being who you are and being comfortable in that moment, because that's what I think screws it up for most people, is being nervous and thinking too hard about the gig. So you land this job. Obviously, you're in college. This is going to be, I'm assuming, a pretty nice payday. Even if it's not a huge payday, anything's better than nothing when you're in college. So what was your first big splurge on? What did you spend on your first paycheck?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think when the money started coming in, you're in your brain, you think it's endless. You think it's never going to stop. You're like, woo, I can't believe how rich I am. Before I think I was eligible for government cheese when I was working at MTV, to be quite honest with you. I could barely feed myself. We were stealing the food from the executives' meetings after they'd have the meetings. My first big splurge was kind of redoing the apartment. Because my roommate, like I said, she was working at MTV. Oh, and you know what I did? I ended up having them hire her as well. So I was like, let me get her in here. So I had them hire her as a booker over at The View. So she was very excited about that. So I went out to ABC Home and Carpet. Is that place still there? It's still there, right? Or did they close it?
Yeah. No, it's open.
Okay, so I went over to ABC Home and Carpet and refurbished the entire place. Then the second season, I was like, we're getting the hell out of this dump and we're moving uptown, baby. So I got us a new apartment uptown, which was super fun. And, I think in general, I just sort of something about not having the stress of constantly having to worry about the next paycheck because, I went to NYU. I hadn't even graduated yet. So as soon as I graduated, then the paying back the loans kicked in. So that second year, most of my paycheck went to pay off my NYU loans. Yeah. But I paid it off in a year.
Did The View at least treat you right? Did you get over $100,000 a year in that first contract?
I did.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
So you got over, but over $100,000. And that was what year exactly?
1997 to 1999 is when I was on.
So that was good. Over 100, that's pretty good money.
To start with,
that's good, great money in general, but 97.
Made a name yet? I think that's great money.
Yeah, nobody knew who I was. Sure. I made well over 100. Okay. But I'm also going to tell you, I made way less than any of the other women, which made sense. Again, nobody knew my name. Nobody. They just knew some Greek kid. I can't pronounce her name. And everybody else was very established. So I should have been paid less. But I still got so much money. To be that young and get that much money, you don't know what you're doing.
You were there how many years?
Young kids, and I'm like, 2 years. I was 2 seasons.
2 years. So did they sign you to 2 seasons, or did you get re-signed after the first season?
I think I thought about that. I think we were signed for 2 years because it was so traumatic. I don't remember. But I do remember when they didn't re-sign me. I do remember when they were like, we are not resign or not renegotiating your contract, whatever. I'm like, Murr. So
actually, I want to ask you about go on, and then I have a question regarding that.
Yeah, because I remember that, but I don't remember if it was a year or 2 years. I feel like at that time they probably would have said 2 years because they knew it was going to take a minute to get the show off the ground. Mm-hmm. So I bet it was just a 2-year contract and they just didn't renew because I remember the non-renewal.
So let me ask you that: when The View decides not to re-sign you for another season, how did you learn the information? How did you learn the news? How did you take it? How did you learn it? How did you find out?
Okay, brutal. Okay, so I'm just going about my thing and just trying to do the best I can and studying my notes and being like every day before the show, which was a live show. First of all, let's just talk about not just doing national television, sitting next to arguably the most famous, well-renowned journalist in history, female journalist, but also doing it live. Okay. And you're a kid that goes to NYU and works at MTV. Talk about frightening. So I was just, doing the best I could every single day. So I get a phone call in my dressing room from Bill Geddie, the executive producer, and he says, hey, Deb, could you come down here? This is after the show one day. It was right before Thanksgiving. Can you come down here? I've got to talk to you about something, and it's important, and it's not going to be good.
Oh, Jesus. That's not a good way.
You couldn't have waited until I got there. I know. So I'm like, freaking out. So scared. Shaking in my shoes. I take the elevator down. I go down. I'm like, oh, so I kind of already in my brain thought, all right, whatever it is, just keep it together. Try not to, cry or anything. So I go in, I sit down. Barbara comes in and they're like, we've decided that you're just not a good fit for the show. And we're going to go in a different direction. And we're not going to renew your contract. And we're going to give you the opportunity to say that you've decided to leave on your own volition and that you're going to go spread your wings and do something else. And, you know, so you can save face. And I'm sitting there and my whole life is just flashing before me. I'm thinking, oh my God, I've been given the opportunity of a lifetime from these people and I screwed it up. I just screwed it up. What an idiot. I screwed it up. And of course it comes back down on you and you're thinking, I'm a disaster. I suck. What could I have done to be better? Blah, blah, blah.
Was there a catalyst for it or just they went? And I apologize for, I just don't remember because.
Well, I'll tell you what, if TMZ was around back then, I would have been let go much sooner than I was. Okay. Thank God you guys didn't exist. And thank God we didn't have social media and all that stuff. Okay. What's the catalyst? Here's the catalyst. Here I am, this kid going to NYU, working at MTV. I get the job of a lifetime that everyone under the sun wants. I don't even understand the weight of it. I don't understand the magnitude because I'm too young and in this MTV world to even understand what a big deal this is, right? Mm-hmm. So every young journalist in America is fighting for this. And I'm just like, burp, 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 this little dopey kid that gets it. I continue to go about my life as if I am that NYU kid working at MTV. I continue to go out. I continue to go to the clubs. I continue maybe to go to Hogs and Heifers and do things I probably should not be doing.
So you were just living your party days.
I was living my best life. I was a kid. I was 21, 22, 23 years old in New York City. What do you think I'm going to do? Sit home and knit? So I didn't understand what a big deal it was and that I needed to change maybe my behavior. And no one was around to tell me that I needed to change my behavior. Was I doing anything that was that bad, that different than any kid in college would do? No, but it wasn't, I think, suitable for a daytime, as someone who would be sitting next to Barbara Walters on a daytime show. I went on Howard Stern. Howard Stern talked about guys that I went out with and called some of them, and they start talking about perhaps, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like some actors, and they're like, oh, it got like too much for Barbara. And then Barbara's friends were like, Imus, and Imus would call her and be like, oh, she's in page 6 again. So Barbara took it Barbara saw it as an embarrassment because she's Barbara Walters and she's this newswoman. And here's this young kid who seems a little unhinged when in all actuality, I was not. I was like on the dean's list at NYU. I was a good, smart kid that just happened to also be young. So she was getting a lot of pushback from her friends and her colleagues. She would become embarrassed. She would then say things to me like, this is not appropriate. You can't do this. You can't do that. I mean, they used to put me in sweater sets. By the end of my time on The View, they dyed my hair brown, put me in sweater sets, and basically put a muzzle on me. I mean, but they hired me because they wanted that person they met in the interview. You know what's
funny? I wonder if years later, Barbara regretted it. And the reason I would say that is she's an extremely intelligent woman, and she knows producing, better than anyone out there. And I would think that she would have looked back and been like, man, I should have leaned into it. I should have. This is The View, different points of view. You've got someone young, party. You're going to bring in a younger demographic to this show that skews a little older. I wonder if TMZ was around, I think we would have been covering all of that a lot more, which would have just raised your fame level to another height.
Probably.
I think, I got to admit, there's probably a time in her life where she would look back and said, I should have kept her. That was
Dax,
stupid.
she actually said that to me.
Really? Barbara said it to you?
She did. It's going to make me cry. Like this was years later. Yeah, I'd gone on to do so many different things. And I interviewed her for The Insider. Yep. And she had started forgetting a lot of things like at that time, but everyone was protecting her because it's Barbara and she saw my name on the list to interview her. And it was Entertainment Tonight, The Insider, Access Hollywood, blah, all the things extra. And she's like, And she tells her publicist, who's Cindy Berger, who I love too, a dear friend of mine, she's like, Debbie's going to go first. I'm not going to do the interview, so Debbie goes first. It was that time in New York City where a crane fell or something and like ended up like killing someone on the street. Do you remember this? This was, and so all the city was shut down. So my cab is now stuck. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting a call from Cindy Berger. Where are you? I got out of the cab and I just started running. I'm like, I can't let this woman down. Like I already let her down one time. I'm not letting her down again. She's like, she won't start the interviews. She will not do them until you get here. So I get there. All the other reporters are like, oh, really? Like we had to wait for you.
Sorry, I was out clubbing, guys.
Sorry, I was dancing on the table at Hogs and Heifers. So I get in there, I sit down. She's like, oh, baby, I'm so glad to see you, blah, blah. I do the interview. She said, and on camera, I have this. It was one of my proudest moments. She said, I knew I was always right about you. I mean, she goes, I knew I was always right. She goes, maybe you were too young, but if we had gotten you at 31 instead of 21, you'd still be sitting on the show. And the thing is, oh, Dax, why are you making me cry? Now you're like doing the Barbara Walters interview. She's like, the truth is, like,
gotcha.
Man, you can't do The View unless you have a view. My view was MTV, NYU, and growing up as a Greek kid. How could I possibly have anything else to say? However, also, the idea of The View back then was, like you said, 5 different generations, different backgrounds, different views, as opposed to squashing it. Had they just embraced that Page Six was writing about me again, had they just embraced that Howard Stern had said something crazy about, anything about me, and just said, oh, baby, you're in the paper. What is this? I can't believe, and let me actually talk about it. Then everyone at home would have been like, oh, that's like my stupid little sister, or that's like my niece, or that's like my granddaughter. And everyone would have related. But because
leaning into it would have been the right move. And I'm really surprised with her producing power that wasn't it. Maybe there's people in her ear, but they would have brought in a younger audience because people would have related to that.
She was scared.
It is what it is. It's a brand new show.
She was scared because it was a brand new show. The network was already like, why is our number one newswoman doing this crazy like ladies chat show? So they were already upset. We couldn't book the show to save our lives. I mean, she was calling Regis every other day. She was calling anyone she could, like Lou Diamond Phillips, who's the Magnum PI, what's his toes. I mean, everybody was on the show that were just her friends. Yep. So, they were worried about ratings. And then what ended up happening is then they used my firing as a way to boost ratings, because then they did live on air interviews, which made people really interested in wanting to see who was going to like take my spot. It was smart. That was a good producing move.
Well, they did that with Live with Kelly too. That's why I got into there. I got to do some Live with Kelly because they did the same thing. When Strahan left, I got to go do the Live with Kelly competition.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. See, so ABC.
So thank you for paving the wave. Yeah,
you're welcome. You are welcome, Dax. It's all because of me.
So you leave. Do you still keep in touch with anybody from The View? As far as are the EPs still there? I'm assuming, right?
Well, unfortunately, Bill Geddie passed away, who was, okay, if this isn't any consolation of how amazing this human was, the man fires me, and I think my entire life is ruined, and we were still friends. Like, that's what a great guy he was. As a matter of fact, we ended up starting a production company together, and he passed away about, oh my gosh, I think we're going on 2 years. It's really awful, but I kept in touch with for years, and like I said, we had a company together. I still talk to every single one of them. There's like 2 or 3 producers that are still there. And the stylist is still there. I talk to her all the time. And all the women, I mean, literally about 30 minutes ago, I was texting with Joy about my event in New York. And she's like, oh, don't do it on a Friday. No one's in the city on a Friday. So I'm changing the date because of Joy Behar. So yeah, I still talk to Joy. I talk to Star. I talk to Meredith. And I talked to Lisa Ling, who actually replaced me. I'm still friends with. Yeah. I'm friends with Jenny McCarthy. I'm friends with pretty much all of them. All of them.
That's awesome.
So I mean, it's like a club. I'm friends with Sherry. It's like a group. Look, there's like 15 of us, I think, that have had that same unique experience. There's no more than 15 people on the planet who can say they've experienced that. And I just happened to be the first one to experience it. And then the floodgates opened and everyone else was fired after me.
Well, let me ask you this. Who is the person where, there's been people that have been there forever. Obviously, like a person like Joy Behar, Whoopi's now kind of came in and then she's kind of made a real big plant where she's a big part of the show now. Who do you think they kind of let go a little too soon at The View? And who do you think they brought on that right away you knew, like, this person might not be a good fit for The View?
Who do you think they let go a little too soon? Do you know, I think Jenny. I think Jenny.
I love Jenny.
Me too. And I've actually talked to her about this. And I remember when it was like coming to a head for her at the end. And I was on the show, I think promoting my cookbook. I don't know what it was. And I said to her, babe, if anyone knows what you're going through, it's me. Like, I know that spot. I know how you're treated by Barbara. I know how it goes down. Like, the young one always gets the short end of the stick. And she was like, how do you handle it? I was like, just keep your head down, collect your check, do what you got to do, and get out of there. Just try to not ruffle any feathers. It's so hard, anyway. So we kind of had this exchange, but she was ready. I think she was ready. She was done with it. It was too much for her. But I feel like had they just accepted her for her, like they should have with me, then she'd still be sitting there too. So I feel like they got rid of Jenny a little too early. And someone who I think maybe didn't fit so well was Raven-Symoné.
Okay. Do you think she was a not that she didn't fit, do you think she was a mishire?
Well, I don't know what they were trying to do there. I'm just confused by that casting. I love her as a human and I think her acting is incredible and I think she's really cool. But I just don't feel like, for some reason, it just didn't seem like, I don't know why that was the choice. Didn't make sense to me. Like, I understand why they hired Elizabeth Hasselbeck. I get it. You have her sitting there. Oh, there's going to be fire. You have Lisa sitting there. Lisa was at that time very conservative. That made sense. You know what I mean? You have like, Nicole Wallace. Nicole Wallace. She's a newswoman. Makes sense. But Raven is a child star. She's a huge Disney star. And I think she also had a singing career. I mean, I don't know. I understand why I thought it was just kind of out of left field. I think they hired Candace. That made sense. Candace made sense because Candace is very conservative, very religious. She's going to have a viewpoint that is going to ruffle feathers. And the whole idea of that show is to make sure that you have a view over here, and maybe someone in the middle who can kind of just say, okay, everybody pump the brakes, Yeah. So they're not just screaming, yelling at each other.
Well, looking back, you got four faces that you're going to put on the Mount Rushmore of the View history. Who are the 4 hosts that make the Mount Rushmore?
Come on, that's so hard.
You only get 4.
Oh my God, that is so hard. Okay, Barbara, obviously. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say Whoopi.
Okay.
Because she's been there so long. We got 2 more to go. Oh my gosh. It's hard to say. I mean, it's like, who's the most memorable? Who are the most memorable ones? Barbara, Whoopi. I mean, listen, if you want the fireworks, Rosie.
I forgot about Rosie.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many.
Rosie's up there. I don't care what you say. I'm putting Rosie on the Mount Rushmore.
All right, let's put Rosie up there.
Only because she stirs up controversy and gets people talking. Whether you like her or not, she is a good shit stirrer.
Yeah, she is. So I put Rosie, I put Barbara, I put Whoopi. All right. Go ahead and put Joy up there. You got to do Joy. Yeah. Joy's the last man standing. I said that to her. I said, Joy, if you leave this show, last time I was there, I said, if you leave this show, I have 0 connection here anymore, except 2 of the producers and the stylist. I said, I legit, it will be such a sad day for me because you're the only OG left. She's like, you think I'm just going to die here? How long can I be on this show? I said, yes, I expect you to stay there to your last day.
All right,
you know what, Debbie, this is a random question though. Do producers at The View, obviously they don't want everyone to agree. They want hot takes. That's part of the show. They want that clickbait in some ways, even though before you guys were pre-social media. But would the producers ever tell you to kind of have a hot take on kind of a difficult subject where they sort of like push in that narrative, or because at the end of the day they need to make a show. So did that ever happen with the producers?
1,000%. Every single host, at least when I was there, had a producer assigned to them. Like Joy had a comedy producer, Andrew, who was hysterical. I mean, they used to sit in that, and their dressing room was down the hall from mine, and I would hear them dying laughing. So, they're trying to have a view on something and a take on it, but also to have, something funny, like a little zinger. So she had her producer. I had my producer, Stuart Krause, which was incredible. He worked he was like an executive at Endemol for a long time and at Fremantle. And he would come in and be like, okay, so what do you think of this? And I'd say, well, this is kind of what I think. And he'd be like, well, do you think people your age think that? I was like, yeah, probably, and then I'd call some of my friends. I'm like, what do you think? They'd be like, yeah, 1,000%. I'd be like, okay. So I'm going down the right path. But then, and Meredith would have hers and Star would have hers. But then if they were all too similar, the line producer would come in and be like, okay, one of you's got to change this up. This is going to be so boring. So either I would have to lean into something. It would still be somewhat what you feel, because they don't want you to go out there and lie, but they'd say, just lean into it a little bit. Really, really make your point. So, because they want something that is going to be controversial enough that whether it's the people on the show or somebody at home is going to go, what in the hell did that person just say? You know what I mean?
I've worked on many shows where they explicitly said, I don't care if it's not your viewpoint. I need you to change it, and I need you to fight that viewpoint because we need good television. We can't have everyone getting along.
Yeah. Well, I will say,
it is boring television to watch two people agree on a topic.
Exactly. I will say, though, over the years, it has changed dramatically. And I know for a fact, you're not getting anywhere telling Joy that she has to have a viewpoint. She'll tell you to get out of her room. You're not getting anywhere telling Whoopi she has to have a viewpoint. And probably the other, Sunny, no. Probably
but I also
the
think
others.
All those women are smart enough to also play into it a little bit. And they know at this point, they produce in their head, the more they conflict, it equals good TV, which means they can remain on TV, So I think there's going to be some level of producing inside their head, whether you tell them to do it or whether they lean into it because it's good for ratings.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Dax. I think someone like Sunny she's trying to earn her spot every season. We know Joy's coming back. We know Whoopi's coming back. They've earned their spot. They're not going anywhere. The ball's in their corner. They're, they could do what they want. As far as someone like Sunny and some of the other girls, I'll be honest with you, Debbie, I don't watch the show. I work during the day. So, but I know who Sunny is, but she's also trying to earn her position the following year. So she knows what's going to sort of make news, be a hot take, a interesting, unique perspective that's going to get her contract the next season, because you're always playing for the next season. You're playing for that next contract because you're going to get more money every season. So yeah, it's how TV works.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had a big one. I won't say a huge basketball analyst. I asked him an opinion about sports. He goes, you think I watch every single game? I read 3 different papers and come up with my opinion, and I try to disagree with my host, my counterpart, whoever I'm with. He goes, at the end of the day, we're just trying to make TV. So it's, obviously you do want to be a little bit of you, but also there's the performer element. That's what's going to earn you your contract and keep you on TV.
That's true. But I will say in those early years, most of them, and Star being a lawyer, even though Star knew how to stir the pot too, she knew how to get controversy going. The person who was going to get the knock on the dressing room door and say, hey, change your view, was always going to be me. Because I was the youngest, I was the most vulnerable, also the most impressionable. Whatever you're going to say to me, I'm going to do, because I'm just happy to be there. You know what I mean?
Which makes you the most entertaining. Woo! All right, so Debbie, are you down to do a rapid fire question round?
Oh my God, yes.
which we just ask you. You tell us the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh God. Okay.
We've done it with some of the biggest stars out there, and we get some great answers. So I would love to do it with you.
Let's do it.
All right, Gax, I'll start off. Ready?
Yep.
Debbie, what was the biggest TV moment of your life so far?
Biggest TV moment. Oh, Saturday Night Live. When I got to go on Saturday Night Live and co-host with Bill Paxton.
That's sick. Okay,
Pretty
what
cool.
was the worst advice you've ever been given in Hollywood?
The worst advice?
Yeah.
God, there's been a lot. The worst advice. Oh my God. You know what the worst advice was? Reality TV will never stick. Don't go on that audition for American Idol.
Oh, yeah. Bad idea.
I didn't go.
Were you going to go on an audition to be one of the judges?
No, to host the show. It was before even okay, listen. The first red carpet that Ryan Seacrest ever did was standing next to me. Ryan Seacrest had never done a red carpet. They hired him on E! I had been doing it for a long time. They're like, stand next to Ryan and show him how to do this. It's before he had a contract there. So I, I'm doing this red carpet with him, whatever. I can't remember if that was before or after American Idol. I think it was after, but it was after. But we had the same agent early on. And my manager at the time said to me, who remained nameless, I love you, you know who you are. He said to me, I don't know if this reality TV shit. Like this is, I don't know what is happening in Hollywood right now, but it's all going to correct itself. It's going to correct itself. So this guy, Ryan Seacrest, I said, yeah, of course. I've been on his radio show. He's going out they're looking for 2 people. So who knows? Even if I'd gone and auditioned and they had the 2 people, they had it for like half a season. And then they got rid of whoever that person was. It was another guy.
Brian Dunkelman down in the...
Yeah. Oh, see, I remember. Okay. So they would have been, who knows? Maybe I would have been that person. I would have gone.
Ryan was going to get that job no matter what because he's so good at what he does.
Amazing.
But maybe you could have kept the side gig with him. Listen,
who knows?
You never know.
Actually, he and I have a really great banter. And the reason I brought up the E! Red carpet thing, because when I was standing there with him, I was like, damn, I really messed up because the 2 of us together were really funny. Because, Ryan plays the straight man. And then I'll play I go back and forth. I got to get, I have to sail the ship. But I have been known to say some things that make standards and practices heads pop off and explode. But that's why TV is good when I'm doing live TV.
So funny.
All right. Who is the coolest, biggest name you have in your phone?
Oh my!
You don't have to call them, but who's that name in your phone? Like, I can't believe I have this number. I never call them, but I got their number.
God, who's the coolest, biggest name? Jerry Jones. Drop the mic. Boom! How you like me now?
That's pretty funny.
I only call for tickets, baby. Yeah. Think I'm new? Of course.
It's
football
Jerry
season.
Jones, by the way, when he goes anywhere, it's like the bus loads. When Jerry Jones goes, it's the bus loads of like the family, it's a party, it's a parade wherever he shows up. He's a very nice guy, by the way. Super nice guy. So
that's so funny. I was expecting Oprah. I did not expect Jerry Jones. I love it. Was such a right turn, but I love it.
Yeah, I've been with
Jerry
Jones, by the way.
Jerry Jones?
Yeah, Jerry Jones goes across all like generations, all socioeconomic backgrounds. It goes across everything, race, religion, creed. When you say something that has to do with NFL and the Cowboys, like them or hate them, you still go, wow, that's a big deal. I mean, even to me, I'm like I've got Michael Strahan in here, and I say to him, he's like, yeah, I bet you got Jerry's phone number.
Well, what's so weird? I actually, real quick, do you still keep Barbara Walters' number in your phone?
I do. I can't.
Yeah, I have some people who passed. I still keep. You don't delete their number if they pass.
I literally have 3 people in my phone that have passed, and I'm like, no, it feels weird to delete them.
Yeah, I still have Bill in here too.
Yeah. It's funny how we hold on to something like that.
I know.
Okay, I've done a lot of interviews. You've done a lot of interviews. Not all of them are going to be great. Who was the one celeb you couldn't stand?
Oh, God. I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand him. I think he couldn't stand me, to be honest with you. was Tommy Lee Jones. I think he hated my guts.
He hates everyone.
I think
Dude, I
common.
could not break him. And I could pretty much break anybody. Like I could break them down. I can find some sort of commonality. I can make the ass of myself, and then they'll laugh because they'll say, you know what, she's whatever. Like I can get them there. He was not. He hated me. I mean, I thought, well, we might as well just wrap it up. I'm not getting anything from this guy. And I think he looked down on me like I was a dummy.
He hates everyone. He hates the whole machine of Hollywood and press. So definitely wasn't you. I just don't understand why they sent him out to do interviews. He is the worst in Hollywood when it comes to interviews. I'm like, just don't send him. Like, he's miserable the whole time. He makes the interviewer miserable. Don't send him out.
Yeah, it's not good for his brand, and it's not good for the movie. Now, anytime I watch, I loved him in everything. And now every time I watch Men in Black, I'm like, it's such a shame you're so good in this, and you're not a nice man, or at least not to me.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think did you hear that?
Your dog doesn't like Tommy Lee Jones either. Fuck that guy.
Right, Wyatt. Right, you tell him.
Hold on. Who was the celebrity that you went on a date with the guy you were like, man, this guy is like the smoothest guy. This guy has got game.
Probably, and this also has everything to do with his British accent. Jeremy Northam. Do you remember who that was?
I don't even know.
He was Mr. Knightley in Emma. Do they remember that Gwyneth Paltrow movie?
No.
Was he in Shakespeare in Love as well?
People that are on IMDb.
Yeah, exactly. He was a British actor. Yeah, exactly. He was a British actor that was very highbrow and did Shakespeare in the Park and all kinds of things like this, and all of the
So definitely no movies that I saw. That's why I don't know him.
Yes, you did. The Net with Mira Sorvino. Remember that one?
Oh, okay.
No.
I remember The Net. I remember Mira Sorvino. Don't remember him in it, but that's okay.
Right. He was He did also stuff with. Come
on, there's got to be someone from your
Sandra
MTV
Bullock.
days that we would be like, oh my god.
There's got to be someone that's been on MTV once.
Someone who's been on MTV. God, I don't know, a bunch of them.
There's who's the guy you want to people people would know that you're like, this guy when you went out with he was good. He was obviously you're happy, but this guy, you understood why people like this person.
God, it's all a blur.
Guarantee you saw their number in their phone.
Oh my God, if I went through my phone, gosh, there were the ones at MTV were
not even Dan Cortez.
Oh my God, Dan. I loved Dan. Oh my God, Eric Nies. Yo.
Oh, there we go.
You know Eric Nies?
Did he do MTV Raps?
He did. Well, he did. He did the grind, and then he was on Real World and did the grind. And then I saw him in Soho. Probably about Eric. You went out with him?
Yeah, I was also a child. Let's remember.
Okay,
at that time I was 18 years old.
I just ran into him 15 years ago, and this guy was so ayahuasca type thing, and it was the weirdest thing. He wasn't ayahuasca when I saw him, but it was not a real conversation. It was like, what is going on here? And whatever. All right, Dax, you got a question?
Was Eric? Do you remember? The reason I remember Eric Nies so bad is when I was at TMZ, we got this whole photo set of him rescuing the dog naked. Do you guys remember this?
I saw him with the dog.
It was a huge story back in the day.
Yeah. I think it was named Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Leonard or something like that.
Oh my, I have no recollection of this.
Yeah, he was on a frozen lake. The dog ran out onto the frozen lake. The dog fell into the water. He stripped off all of his clothes. This was in upstate New York. Crawled on his hands and knees out to get the dog and rescue the dog buck ass naked. And I remember this because it was just such a funny story of oh my God, it was heartwarming because he saved the dog, and also hilarious because why did you take your underwear off too to go save the dog? I mean, these were huge. Google it. I'm telling you, go Google the photos.
Why did this become news? Maybe he did that on purpose.
Maybe. Smart publicity.
Who was there to capture this?
All right. Wait, this is not a rapid round, Debbie. You got us on this one.
Sorry.
You knew how to trick us into the rapid round.
See that's my journalism degree coming in handy from MTV.
All right.
There you go.
I want a quick response. What was the most memorable red carpet moment you've had?
Most memorable red carpet moment. Again, it's like, there's some good ones. Interviewing Madonna. That's because it was very full circle for me, where I was like, oh my gosh, this is the reason I got the job at The View and probably the reason I moved to New York City when I was a kid. So like standing there and interviewing her and being like, and trying to be cool and be like, I'm such a nerd right now and I'm geeking out if this woman knew that I'm shaking.
That she was the most one of the top 3 most influential people in the world.
Yep.
Pretty
to
awesome.
Me, let me ask you this: who people adore, they're obsessed with the Hollywood celebrity industry, the entertainment business. What's the most overrated thing about the entertainment business?
The most overrated?
Yes.
I think that people don't realize that it still is work. Like, listen, we have the best jobs in the world. We get to come and play. And like, honestly, like what a privilege to do this. But a lot of times behind all the glitz and the glam is like a dumpy hotel room or you're sitting you're sitting behind a red rope on a gross carpet that people have thrown gum and trash all over. And like, they don't see the inner workings of everything. They only see you standing there and looking fabulous in this gown and blah, blah, blah. And, welcome to the red carpet of the 72nd annual Golden Globe Awards. They don't see what's behind the camera. Yeah. That's like holding everything together with a paper clip and a piece of gum.
I was thinking about with how celebs always say, like, it always seems like glamorous and fun until all you see is back rooms and kitchens and elevators for machine parts. Like, they're like, what the hell? This is so not glamorous.
How is this a life? I know you're going in and out of random places. You're like, this is nuts. But yes. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it all comes off anyway, and everyone is exactly the same. We all still bleed red.
Here's my last rapid fire question for you. All right, everyone feels like we know Barbara Walters and everything about her, but what is the one thing that when you think back about Barbara, you're like, oh, that's what makes you think of her, or something that we never knew about Barbara Walters?
How funny she was. She was funny, and she was a boss. Like, she was the original female boss, but she was also so sensitive. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that I don't think people saw that part of her. And I think probably because she wasn't able to show that part of her, because at that time you couldn't, it's a man's world. And at that time she had to be really stoic and strong, but truthfully, she just wanted to be one of the girls. I mean, I sometimes wonder truly if she created The View because she just wanted some girlfriends like that.
Interesting.
Because like after the show, she'd want to hang out, and you'd be like, I can't believe Barbara Walters just wants to kind of hang and go to lunch. I mean, and she would tell the funniest stories, and she had the best gossip.
I bet she did.
And she would never say a word. You'd never know. Oh, but we knew. You read that book interview, half of it's not in there. I was like, she really didn't spill the beans. I mean, she knew everything about everyone.
That's my last question for you, Debbie, is who is the celebrity that you run into the most?
Jon Voight. I see Jon Voight literally once a week. Once, maybe.
Where? Does he just live near you or what?
He lives near me. And I always see him up at the coffee shop. And when I do, he's ready to chat. He is the
he's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy. Yeah.
I love him. He's like, sit down. Do I have this to tell you, that to tell you? I mean, it's like a 2-hour conversation. I mean, I love the man. And half the time I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe I'm talking to Angelina Jolie's dad right now. It's something about it. It's so funny.
That's awesome. I love it. He's always been a really nice guy. He gets a good rap in Hollywood for just being a genuinely nice, kind of like grandpa kind of dude, just hanging out. All right, we tease people at the top of the show. We said you got something that you want to give out. You said that our listeners are going to be one of our lucky listeners is going to be a recipient of what, Debbie? What do you got for them?
Okay, I am the ambassador for National Caregivers Awareness Month, which is in November. It's every November. The reason I have been named the ambassador is because what many people don't know about me is that I left Hollywood literally at the height of my career. Well, it depends on if you think The View was the height of my career. But when I was at E, I left pretty abruptly and went back home to Virginia to take care of my father, who had been diagnosed with ALS and was really sick. And they kind of gave him a few years to live. And they said, make your arrangements, because I don't know if you know anything about ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, but it is very debilitating and you become a prisoner of your own body. And I knew my dad was awesome. Like, he walked in a room and everybody loved him. He was the life of the party. The kids, the men, the women, the animals, they just kind of flocked to him. He was like the Pied Piper. And to see him deteriorate so quickly and so drastically was really hard on my whole family. At the time, my sister, had a family and children. My brother, same thing. I was really the only person in the position to say, okay, I have one dad. I quit. I'm going home to take care of my dad. I feel like if we're fortunate enough to get to a certain age in our lives, we're all going to get there.
Yeah.
And we're all going to have to make a choice. What are we doing with our parents or our loved ones who are ill? So I partnered with a company called Nomo Smart Care. And I really feel like this is going to change the future of caregiving. And if I'd had it with my dad, it would have taken so much pressure off of me and my mom. So Nomo Smart Care is this amazing technology that they've created. And it's basically, it provides discrete, privacy first sensors that learn your loved ones, daily routines, and they send alerts to your family care circle on an app that kind of gives you family check-ins before a concern actually becomes an emergency.
So give me an example of something that
for an example. So for instance, you set up this thing on your phone and your sister's phone, your brother's phone, everyone in your care circle is what they call it. There's this thing that's it looks like an Alexa. It's a hub, and you plug it in and it talks to all the little sensors that you put around the house. So they've had these things called tags, and they're these tiny little buttons like this, and you can put it on your mom or your dad's bedroom door. It goes unnoticed. At the top, you put it on the refrigerator door. You put it on a pill box if they have to take pills. So if your mom usually gets up at 8:30 in the morning, okay, and the bedroom door hasn't opened until 10:30, it will alert you and say, mom's still in bed. And you're like, oh, that's weird. Okay. Or if she's, hasn't walked past that sensor for a few hours, it will let you know. It will also let you know when she opens the refrigerator door, if there's something on there. Oh, she's up and well and she's eating. If she's taken her pills, or if she has to take her pills once or twice a day, it will let you know. So
I think all of this is super helpful, especially if you cannot be there, to let you know, hey, is mom out of bed? Because if mom's not out of bed, then we need to sound the alarm. So I totally see the benefit of this technology.
Especially when you're living across the country like me. For instance, the reason I put it at my mom's house is because I'm in LA. The rest of my family is in Virginia. And if I can't reach my mom on the phone, I panic immediately, because probably a little bit of PTSD because of my father. I understand this. But then I can't reach my brother. I can't reach my sister. I'm immediately my mind goes to, that's it.
Debbie, you've sold them on it. Where do you want them to get one of these?
Oh, anyway, wait. Anyway, so listen. I love the thing. I think it's great. And the hub talks to the person in the house and says, are you okay? If it's noticed that nothing's happened, it will also, I can talk through the hub and mom, and then she can talk back.
Get up, lazy ass. You're freaking me out.
Exactly. So anyway, it's really great technology, and it's not, by the way, invasive. Because as people age, I know this firsthand, they don't want cameras in their house. They get annoyed. Why are you watching me? I'm not your baby, sort of thing. But, it's so everybody feels safe that everyone is okay. So this doesn't have any cameras, which makes it easier for the person whose home it's in. So anyway, it's called Nomo Smart Care. We are giving it away to somebody who might need it for their family member who, if they're caregivers or if they have someone in their family who may need something like this. I don't know how we give it away, but it's a $299 value for free. And I'm giving away a year subscription, which is $20 a month. So it'll come with all the instruction on how to set it up, and you can have the whole app and the whole thing for a solid year, and the device and the tech forever for free. And we're also going to give your listeners and your watchers 10% off anyone else who may need it with the code, I think, Hollywood Raw 10.
Hollywood Raw 10.
Oh,
shit, you're giving away everything. This is great.
I'm also giving you my cookbook. You guys didn't even talk about my cookbook.
Well, we hadn't even got to it. You're talking about all of this stuff.
This is your second cookbook, correct?
Yeah, it's my second cookbook. So
before we get into it, I got to tell people where to go. So if you want to win, head on over to our private Facebook group called Off the Record. You can find it by going to hollywoodraw.com. There'll be a link in there. You get accepted in. I'm just going to go with first person to post that they want it. It's going to them. So,
but why don't we say and why? Why would they need it?
First person to post and why they want it, how it's helpful for them, how they're going to use it. That way we're giving it to someone who truly needs it and who's going to utilize it. I think that's a great way to give it away.
I love it. I mean, I'll call my mom and I'll be like, "Oh, Mom, so I noticed you were in the kitchen. Why? Why you know that?" I'm like, "Because the stupid things you put in my refrigerator." I'm like, yeah. And
all right, tell us about your cookbook.
Okay, so this is my second cookbook. It's called Greekish. And the reason it's Greekish is because my first cookbook was It's All Greek to Me. There was 120 recipes of my family's recipes, authentic recipes from Greece. But I also make other food. I don't just make Greek food, believe it or not. So my friends were always like, okay, when are you going to write a second book? And also, will you please put stuff in it that's not just Greek? We want to eat other stuff, like some of the things that you have on rotation in your kitchen. And when we come over, you just whip something up. So I did. So I put lots of my Greek recipes in here, but I also put some recipes that aren't Greek, like pigs in a blanket, which, by the way, Barbara used to serve at her house every time she'd have a dinner party. I'm not
so classy. Classy Barbara with a pig in a blanket. Do you have gyros in there?
Gyros are in the first book. In this one, I have lamb chops. I have a delicious Greek lamb chop, which let's see if I can find it. And I have nachos in here, things that
you have Greek. Tzatziki in there?
Yeah, baby. I got tzatziki in here. So this also has recipes in here that are traditionally Greek, but there's your lamb chops. Right there.
Perfect. Now, is this going to the same person that is the first person to post and get the other items, or is this
I think somebody else should get it. But
all right. So whoever comments that they need the book, we'll give them the book. So one comment, I'll give you the say it again. What's the name of the product?
Oh, Nomo Smart Care.
Nomo. You post about Nomo, I'll give you the Nomo. If you post about the book and say why you need this Greek cookbook, we'll get that in your hands. You got
What's
it,
unique about this cookbook, by the way, I need everybody to know, it's a cookbook and a cooking show at the same time. Because what was really cool about this, when they approached me to do a cookbook, they said, we've got this new thing, also new technology, by the way, which I think is the wave of the future. At the bottom of the recipe pages, ready for this? Fellas, Adam and Dax.
Ready.
See that?
What is it, QR code?
It's a QR code. When you scan the QR code, I pop up and teach you how to make the recipe in my kitchen half the time. No hair and makeup. I'm literally in socks. I'm like, hey, everybody. Okay, I'm going to show you how to. So
I like that because you know what? I don't always like reading. So
nobody
that
does.
To me seems like it would be awesome.
It's an interactive cookbook. And what's so cool about it is I also can continuously add recipes. So which people are saying, why are you doing that? You're giving it away for free. Because it's fun. So I'll literally set up my camera in my kitchen and be like cooking, be like, oh, okay. And I'll send it to the publisher and they upload it. And then here. So it's kind of like, you never know what you're going to get. So right here.
I love it.
It's like a box of chocolates. That's at the beginning of the book. And every single extra recipe I upload is right there. So it's like a little secret. Secret no more.
Awesome. I love it. We have to go. We are out of time. I've got 6 people yelling rap right now, so we have to run.
How dare you?
I know. I'm like looking at people and they're like, you need to wrap it up. So thank you so much,
needs
Debbie.
To shut up.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was a blast getting to know you. Putting, obviously you get to know us, and it's been so many years working in the same industry, like I said earlier. So this was a really fun chat. Where can people follow you on social media?
I am Debbie M across the board. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Also my websites, iamdebbiem.com.
Love it. You can follow. Oh, go ahead.
Because Matenopoulos is simply just too hard to spell.
It's too long. I spelled it wrong the first 4 times I wrote it down. But you can follow us at The Hollywood Raw. We were on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and we got the YouTube channel. You can follow Adam at Adam Glyn. You can follow me at Dax Holt. Until next time, thank you again, Debbie.
Bye.
What's up, guys? If you liked that video, there's plenty more where that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.